The fact of the matter is that just being talented only, it's kind of.
The truth is that, simply being capable, it's sort of a this is my viewpoint, a credulous idea. Certain individuals are extremely fortunate and exceptionally lucky, and they trade favors or anything that it is, and they excel anything in all seriousness. Yet Bill Duke has apparently commenced Hollywood's fascinating mysteries, conveying a preventative message to hopeful dark entertainers. Looking at the fabulous universe of Tinseltown, his disclosures propose that popularity in Hollywood comes at an extensive expense, and he's not keeping down in sharing the subtleties. So what precisely did he say you can know it all yet in the event that you don't know anyone? Anything you know becomes unimportant in light of the fact that you have no way to understand your fantasy. In 2018, prestigious entertainer and Chief Phil Duke imparted significant experiences in a meeting to film Boldness Advance Notice, hopeful dark entertainers, about the difficulties they could look in Hollywood. With a sincere tone, Duke underlined the significance of playing chess in an industry that frequently feels like a high-stakes round of checkers. As would be natural for him, Duke offered a sobering rude awakening to those entering the diversion business, revealing insight into the cruel real factors of dismissal, selling out, and self-question that numerous entertainers face. So disloyalty happens constantly, treachery, dismissal. And this is essential for our industry. In spite of these difficulties, Duke's message additionally conveyed an encouraging sign, empowering youthful abilities to embrace self-revelation, certainty, and development. In their quest for progress, Duke began the discussion by examining the obvious insights inside the business. Just 20% of entertainers track down customary work inside the Screen Entertainers Society and the American League of TV and Radio Craftsmen. Out of this rate, only 10% figured out how to procure a significant pay, surpassing $100,000 yearly. These numbers highlight the furious rivalry and the overwhelming chances that rookies should defy the underlying dreams and goals that lead people to Hollywood are frequently met with a flood of dismissal, making a profound feeling of torment and self-question. You're coming here with trust and dreams, right alongside large number of others that look as great as you around the same time. You're coming, Duke sympathetically featured the close-to-home cost that persistent dismissal takes on hopeful entertainers confronting dismissal every day of the week. For a really long time can disintegrate one's certainty and self-esteem, prompting humility and sadness. Numerous people resort to unfortunate survival techniques. For example, substance stomach muscle to numb the torment away. Duke himself recognized falling into momentarily during his initial days in the business anyway. He likewise shared an encouraging sign, stressing the significance of finding sound outlets, like reflection, to conquer these difficulties. Regardless of the horrid real factors, Duke asked hopeful entertainers to find comfort in self-revelation and inward certainty. He accentuated the groundbreaking force of self-assessment and internal strength, empowering people to assume responsibility for their own fates. In the present computerized age, the obstructions to passage have fundamentally brought entertainers never again need down to hold on to be found. They can set out their own open doors through digital broadcast webisodes and online stages. You don't need to hold on to be found. You at any point can set web recording and episodes up. In a different meeting, Duke stripped back the layers to reveal insight into the perplexing transaction between ability, business keenness, and industry elements. Duke's genuine understanding filled in as a reminder for hopeful specialists, underlining the significance of ability, as well as essential reasoning and industry understanding. Chasing achievement, Duke's words sliced through the romanticized thought that ability alone could prepare to fame. He highlighted a pivotal truth in an industry driven by associations and organizations. Ability could be delivered unimportant if one coming up short on pathway to understanding their fantasy. You must have a mission, a way, Duke declared, featuring the need of an unmistakable vision and vital methodology. In a consistently serious field, Duke's dull evaluation of the business uncovered difficult to accept. He recognized the presence of an upsetting pattern where people depended on taking advantage of individual connections or trading favors for professional success. While he didn't mince his words, he focused on an unforgiving truth. Depending exclusively on ability was a guileless methodology in the relentless universe of Hollywood, in a climate where double-dealing frequently prowled in the background. Duke's words filled in as a useful example, encouraging hopeful specialists to know about the potential trap. Duke's similarity, contrasting the business with a round of pimping and cultivator, portrayed the power elements at play. He underscored the significance of being something other than a beautiful face or a skilled entertainer. As per him, being utilized by the business was unavoidable for some, yet the key lay in utilizing that time of being used. In this game, specialists and directors went about as delegates, searching out people who could be shaped and promoted anyway. Duke's insight lay in the comprehension that craftsmen should figure out how to guarantee their ability function for them, not against them. Ability is one part of it, yet the matter of ensuring that your ability is utilized to your advantage. Additionally, you ought to possess something beside the dim underside of Hollywood. Bill additionally shared his initial life and the terrible things that happened to him. For being dark, you find in the calm guiltlessness of experience. Growing up, youthful hearts are frequently safeguarded from the unforgiving real factors of the world anyway. For Bill, Duke, experiencing childhood in a period damaged by racial bias implied defying fanaticism. At an early age, in a piercing meeting, he uncovered his battles, giving us a brief look into his excursion of flexibility and win against prejudice. Duke related a chilling occurrence from his childhood daily, scratched into his memory, when he and his sister were heading back home from chapel. In a stunning experience, three bikers, energized by scorn and obliviousness, obnoxiously attacked them with racial slurs. What is going on immediately swelled into an actual quarrel, leaving Duke battered and bloodied. This horrendous occurrence was not disengaged. It was one of many experiences with bigotry that would shape how he might interpret the world. The prejudice Duke confronted wasn't bound to the roads. It additionally saturated establishments intended to safeguard residents. He strikingly recollected an experience with a decrying cop comments about his family. Such episodes were an excruciating sign of the bias profoundly instilled in the public eye, powering Duke's developing hatred towards white individuals. The meeting shed light on the horrifying act of lynching, a grisly reality, where African Americans were swung from trees, exposed to uncaring demonstrations, suggestive of archaic torment strategies. These sickening records illustrated the ruthlessness looped by Duke's people group, leaving scars that went past actual injuries anyway. Duke isn't the main big names who has cautioned the beginners about the clouded side of Hollywood. One more VIP who has spoken about Hollywood's best is Tommy Davidson. The individuals who have heard Davidson's sharp jests or observed any of his humorous motion pictures may be amazed to discover that his initial life wasn't so blissful. Deserted at only year and a half old, the unfiltered and full of life, Alam was taken on by a white couple and would reside in 3 unique states prior to sinking into the DMV. In spite of the fact that he was a piece of an interracial reception, the dark, explosive entertainer didn't comprehend race until his family arrived in Washington, D.C., right in the center of the 1968 mob ignited by the death of Dr. Martin Luther Lord Jr. He uncovered, "I never considered my folks white. I didn't have any idea what white was. What I knew was love. I knew kinship, trustworthiness. I knew nothing about high contrast." The real factors of race hit Davidson in the face in his new home. And being dark developed to be a bigger piece of his character. Satire was likewise a marked piece of his personality. And surprisingly, back in first level, the DC local reviews, his school chief alluding to him as a comic. Yet he was something beyond a class jokester, making individuals snicker, fell into place. Without a hitch, he uncovered my ability is inherent And that gift has taken me such countless places and allowed me an opportunity to involve my gifts in better places that regular gift would sling Davidson to super fame subsequent to winning a beginner stand-up show at the renowned Apollo Theater. The entertainer migrated to Los Angeles, where he stumbled upon the opportunity of a lifetime. Davidson even resided in a similar structure as individual comic Martin Lawrence and performed at Luther Vandross and Anita Cook shows in 1990. There were no larger part dark sketch parody shows. So in the primary group of dark parody, the wands appeared unfiltered and full of life. The world-focused The Milestone Show sent off the vocations of entertainers, Jim David, Alan Greer, Jennifer Lopez, and Rosie Perez alongside Davidson. Showing up on an organization TV program was big time for any comic, and the typically sure stage performer was stunned by his own prosperity. Davidson shared, "Whenever I first got on camera, I froze in light of the fact that the truth hit me. I had been working such a long time, and I was at last on television. The show was a springboard for different open."